Have you ever wondered what it would be like to live in a world where animals and people had magical abilities? You had to be super careful about your pets, and the animals at the zoo? My name is Onyx Hoofbeats, and I will be telling you the story of the elementals. Animals with the ability to control the Earth's elements: fire, water, air, and earth. When a junior volunteer named Luna Acefield joins up with the elemental sanctuary down her street in hopes of becoming an elemental keeper, things could not get more exciting. With me creating the story visual for you using Planet Zoo, you can relax and listen to the story. Cooing with Luna over baby baboons, riding on the backs of ostriches, and foraging a path to a destiny with power. I hope you will enjoy the story as much as I will writing it. I will be creating the elemental staff houses in this episode, and you'll meet some fun new characters, although can they all be trusted? Enjoy! Luna was delighted to find out that a new elemental sanctuary was opening right down her street, and was looking for help. The first one had opened more than 50 years ago, and she hoped this one would last just as long. Now that she was here though, fear had swamped her like it always does before a drastic change in our lives. She drove slowly, trying to rehearse what she was going to say to her new boss. I wonder what element I will have. She let her mind wander, imagining her ceremony, her parents and older sister cheering loudly in the crowd, as she received her token of element and trust. This token was usually an accessory on your body, like a bracelet, or a necklace, a watch, or even a hair scrunchie. Luna hoped she wouldn't get a hair scrunchie. She wanted something extravagant, like a necklace made of hot glowing stones, or a wind crown on her raven curls. She saw the sign for her turnoff, and slowed the car. Rolling down the window, she sniffed deeply, getting a whiff of smoke, mixed with rain on the breeze. The elemental sanctuary was just around the corner. Or the place it was going to be. Luna pulled up the car parking brake in a tiny dirt parking lot, where only a few other cars were parked. She looked out her window at the sanctuary entrance. She was more impressed by it than she thought she would be, for even having almost no funds of its own, the new home looked a little like a cross between an Indian gateway and a Japanese garden. She locked her car, and walked slowly across the crunching dirt. The walls were made of rough stone, with vines crawling up them. As she drew nearer, she spotted bunches of grapes hanging from the branches. Not ordinary grapes though, she gasped when she saw the white ones were twisting and swirling inside, like they were mini tornadoes. Wind grapes. She smiled excitedly in spite of herself. There must be elemental keepers here from other sanctuaries to help us out. She looked up at the gateway as she approached, hearing faintly the sound of plunking water from the fountains on either side of the path. Looks gothic, don't you think? The voice made her jump, and she looked up to find a man perched on a ladder, drilling a rough wood frame onto the bottom of what appeared to be the portcullis, or metal gate. Looked kinda dumb without the border, so we decided we'd better add one before the opening. He smiled at her, his teeth flashing in the sun. Nice to meet you, my name is Jim Hastian. He went on. I'm the manager here at this new home. My name is Luna Acefield. Luna said in reply. I might sound rude you know, since we just met, but what element are you? I'm curious. Jim laughed. It's okay, I actually like to show it off to the rookies. He held out his hand, and a flame hovered over his palm. Fire. He waved his hand through the air and the flame followed like the tail of a kite. Luna stared in amazement. She had heard of the way the abilities looked and how they were used during all her research, but seeing one up close was much different. Jim hammered the last bolt into the border, and extinguished his hand. How about I get you settled in? He climbed down the ladder, and beckoned for her to follow. Luna walked underneath the arch, and the sounds of hammering, sawing, and shouting reached her ears. On the other side of the wall, many people were building busily on the frames of buildings and planting shrubbery. Jim made a beeline for a woman who was lowering a bush into the soil. Helen? He called. Can you show our first junior keeper to her temporary rooms? Luna missed the lady's response, for she was watching a vine tangling up from the earth in a shower of dirt and grass, to wrap around and carry a whole section of roof into place. A young woman stood beside the enormous plant, one hand raised and her palm glowing green. Come along, we'll put you in your temporary lodgings until we finish this project. Helen steered her towards the rough stone wall, and opened a hidden door in the stonework. The room beyond was tiny, barely big enough to fit a single bed in, let alone a whole woman. I'm sorry, this is the best we can do for now. Helen smiled apologetically. Once we finish the rookie's room, you'll move in there. Luna nodded. Thanks. She walked into the room, and heard the door shut behind her. It was lighter than she had thought, and then she realized that there were little glowing orbs on the ceiling that flickered with blue light. She plopped her carry-on sack on the rough bed in the corner, and wondered what they would say if she chose to sleep and live at home, until her building was finished. The keepers were supposed to stay and live at the sanctuary once they were hired, only allowed to leave on the weekends to see their families. Almost like I've gone to college anyway. Luna had never been one for the idea of college, so she had chosen a profession instead. It was a weird one, but it was better than any of the other ones her parents had wanted her to take. She had always been savvy at techno stuff, so they thought she would be an electrician. Lot of money in that, her father had said. She was also very smart at science and math, so they told her she should go into engineering. You'd enjoy it, her mother assured. Older adults always think they know best. Luna opened her sack, and lifted out a picture frame of her family and hung it on the wall using a nail she hammered in with her handy ruler. Even though they had not been pleased with her decision to join up with the elementals, she still loved them. She was about to turn from the wall, when she noticed something. A blueprint, a sketch of several buildings with elements around them. Notes were scrawled all over the margins, in very sloppy handwriting, and she couldn't read most of them. She was cocking her head trying to decipher them, when she heard the door open. She spun around to find a young man dressed in a collared shirt and khaki pants, standing stunned in the doorway. Oh, I'm sorry, he said. Is this your room now? His voice had a strange accent she couldn't place, and as he started to walk nearer, she edged away. The room was small though, and soon she had nowhere else to go. Look, don't be alarmed. I just remembered I left some things in here, so I came back for them. He stuck out his hand. Liam Gateman, rookie of San Francisco. Nice to meet you. Luna shook his hand gingerly. Luna Acefield, rookie of San Francisco. That's great, he said enthusiastically. We're both from San Fran. Say, what would you think of a giant water elephant statue in the middle of the trainee area? Oh, Luna wasn't sure how to answer this young man's explosive attitude. That could be cool. Which element is your fave? Mine's water. Liam started taking out the tacks that held up the blueprint on the wall. Earth, I think? Luna eyed the blueprint. What's that for? Oh, this? Liam tugged out the last tack, and began to roll up the paper. Just some ideas for this new sanctuary. You know, staff rooms, exhibits. Habitats for my favorite animals. Luna wished slightly that he had offered to show her his ideas, but he was already walking away. It was nice talking to you. She called out, rather desperately. You too. He flashed a movie star smile, and closed the door.